Morning, YouTubers. Back to the oils. I've still got so much paint on the board here. I've just given this a wipe over from yesterday's effort, from the day before as well. So we've got here yellow ochre, some cadmium yellow light. There we go. Yellow pale hue. We need some more of that. Great big tube here. It'll last me 2 lifetimes. Then we've got some white, then cadmium red, ultramarine, burnt sienna and black. Black helps make lovely blue greys, cold blue greys, and greens, a good shortcut to greens. I love it. So the basic palette is the yellow, the red and the blue, so there's just three primaries. I could use alizarin, but let's use a bit of alizarin. Since I've got it in front of me here. These are Winton colours with the they're all Winton. Let's put a bit of that out there. The cadmium red is that's Winton too. I can only use this setup with smaller balls. This is a 10 by 8 inches. The next one that is 14 by 10. That 15 by 11. That works quite well. So you can see me mixing the paint. But anything bigger than that, 16 by 12, 15 by 11, would probably be struggling a bit, and I won't use it for watercolours. I need it needs to be on this level, and for me to use my traditional watercolour setup, I would have to have a table here at that height. This is at about 30 degrees, 25-30 degrees, just so that it's easier to film with this webcam. Just finishing my cup of tea. A bit of 2mm thick MDF. It's a lovely surface to work on. Rub it down with some sandpaper and give it a couple of doses of primer, PVA glue diluted a bit, and you can mix in some plaster dust to give a bit of a tooth and a bit of gesso. I'm going straight onto that with just on the primer, no gesso. I say gesso, that seems to be a name for a traditional type of primer, which gives a rough surface and you can mould it. You can do that with the plaster too. But experiment. I'm not sure. The lights, most of the lights coming from the left here, as you can see, but there's also a window above my head on the right. Well, not on my head, but it's in the roof. This room and the shower room next to it is a loft conversion. I've got a loft above as well, where I've got probably 1,000 paintings all wrapped up, all my demonstrations over the last 4 years, 3-4 years. Yeah, this is a lovely room. I use sort of about half of it for my studio. It serves as an ironing facility, airing facility, and I've got a big floor space that I can use to cut down these boards. Right, so what I want to do is a bit of an abstraction, putting in elements of a landscape, which I like, or a seascape, maybe a seascape. So a seascape has got to have a rock in it, isn't it? Maybe a bit of beach. So let's make a rock. So we'll have a bit of red, a bit of blue. I've got a bit of black. So let's put that there. More black, I think. Remember, don't try to do a finished portrait. Okay, the basic laying. I'm using alkyd walnut oil with a bit of walnut oil, edible walnut oil added to it. Leaves the painting with a lovely sheen, but you've got to make sure that if you're trying this, you've got to make it watertight. Otherwise, you'll get dry, you'll get shiny bits and dry bits, and that's not good. Now my rag is just about out of it, so I'll find another rag. I'm running out of this sort of cloth. My watercolour one. I'm also painting on Patreon. I'm doing watercolours on Patreon at the moment, so please support. This is quite expensive. I just had to go and buy another external hard drive to store the next lot of videos on. I've filled up two, with about 2,000 of them. Right, so we want to do a bit of a sky now, don't we? So let's have quite a dramatic sky. So the blue. Oh, I was going to use that alizarin, wasn't I? So very thin, just washing it at the moment, and then we'll put in some light over the rocks. So, with alizarin, bit of yellow. Okay, now we'll put in some, well, we'll go down a bit more. Where are we going to put the horizon? That's the thing. So if we've got light there, light sky, we want darkish. A bit of black in that. A bit of blue. Bit of this, bit of that. So let's have a come up a bit higher there. Now what I've done is to cut it in two, and that's not good, is it? So let's take the horizon up over half, over the top of the rock. Now I've guessed that horizon, but that'll do. That'll do. Now let's mix up some sea and a bit of rough sea around all this. So this is a sort of an exercise in oil, plenty of oil, and just painting from imagination, but based on some sort of reference to memory. I'm not actually, I'm using my experience for doing this. Okay, so got some nice a touch of that sky colour in with this. Okay, that'll do for a minute. We'll get a smaller brush and just put in some of that rock back again. So what was our colour? So we had well, we'll have a bit of brown, a bit of sienna, a bit of black, a bit of ochre. That ochre with the burnt sienna gives a nice warm glow. So it's dark in there. So get a sort of a pleasant shape there. Shadow that side. Get some black in there. And that'll just let that go off a little bit. It will because of the resin, the alkyd resin. Okay, we will lessen the intensity of that as that dries. So let's get just a little bit of light. Soften. Okay, right, let's go back to the sky now. I think there's a bit on the sky. So a bit of drama and oh, I thought I'd used wrong red again. Put black in there. Just build up slowly. Let's have a bit of white in there now. Okay. We'll change the colour of that sea now, I think. I think those bits of paint that are coming off the greaseproof paper. Yeah, I'll probably overuse it. Right. well, I'm going to do some cloud. Remember, I'm not aiming for any realism. I'm going for sort of an abstract feel. Let's soften some of it. Okay, that'll do for the moment. Well, we've got to blend a bit along here. Right, let's just soften it. Okay, now let's put in a bit of stuff in the water. So a nice bluey colour. So I'm not a nautical, so we're putting some darks here, and then we can go back over with some lights. Sort of a touch of yellow ochre in there, I think. Something like that. Get them off. Okay. Get the sky colour. You're reflecting the light in the sky. See, when you're working from your imagination, you're not copying. You're just making a statement from your sort of, well, your unconscious sort of mind. Now that's where you want plenty of crashing. Okay, well, it needs a bit of wet on there. So it's coming around the corner here. Get the right colour. A bit of oil. And let's have a bit of white. Oh, it's darker. Just putting some light on the top there, so it just shows as wet. Bit of show a bit of wet. Just soften all that around there. No, it just gives you that little bit of soft. Now we want some dark. I'll use that red, I think. Bit of blue, bit of white. Got to do something like that's too dark. But as I say, just the right colour. Well, no, let's make it darker. Now you've got to be careful not to overdo this. That's all a bit stiff from yesterday, this the winter, and it's pretty good. It stays open quite a time. Well, I'm probably overdoing that now, but I want some darker. I went a bit wrong with that colour there. It's all the different. The sea's breaking up the sky reflection. If you imagine it to be an exact reflection, and then it gets a bit rough, you'll get the idea of it. That it's breaking up what the reflection of the sky is. Right, now we've got to do some softer stuff here. Let's take out some of the brush marks. So as if it's like bubbling up. Right, let's get that light up in that now. Soften it again. Just got a bit of blending. We could put a bit of red in there. I've just kept my eye on the camera, on the laptop, because yesterday and before the computer switched off. It went into sleep mode, but I've stopped that. I've changed it to never stop. Alright, we're getting something now, but just get that nice and sort of level, and then we'll just go back with that red. Okay, what does that look like? Right, I want to get some of that wet look on here. Right. I think to be a good sea painter, you really need to live by the sea and study it. I'm landlocked here. Right. I need to put a bit of dark in there, so we'll use contrast. Oh, let's see what you think of that. Now I'm always using as large a brush as I can get away with. Just still using a bit of black with that blue. Right, no, that's totally unrealistic, isn't it? That's why we can call that abstract, I reckon. Sort of abstract. Just want to get a bit more up there. No, I don't want too much white in this. I just want some up there and some up there. Okay, well, I'm going to let that go. I think that's quite reasonable. The camera hasn't switched off, so it should be a bit wetter. I'm doing that bluish because it'd be in shadow. Okay, well that's might be just a little bit bitty. Let's see if we can just smooth out some of that. I'll try to get away from using too much light in the water. And we're going a bit uphill there, aren't we? Let's just take some of that out there. Okay, so could put a little bit of a focal point. Let's my last. Let's see if I can just put a little. Might do. No more than that. Right, folks, thanks for watching. I hope you get something from that. I haven't got a frame up here to put it in, but the frame that I've got for it, 8 by 10, just for display and photographing, has got another picture in it, and it's 2 floors down. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye.